All right. Hey, it's Nighty here. Welcome to Ultimate Traffic Monster 3.0. I'd like to thank all of you who are attending this live training session as well as to those who are watching the replay. Now, I'm very happy to be working with all of you and I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you and your businesses. Now, my name is Naidi, the creator of Ultimate Traffic Monster 3.0, as well as the founder of the UTM Traffic Generation series. And it's my honor to be presenting this live training to the very first batch of students of the third edition of this very well acclaimed Traffic Generation series. Now, before we get started, here are some house rules. First of all, please close all other tabs on your browsers. Please put away all your mobile devices and please interact with me during this training session. At the end of the training session, we will have an extensive Q&A session, but if at any time you feel lost, you may ask a question and I will address it immediately. After the training session, you may contact me at this email for any inquiries. You may find everything from the replay of this training session to the done for you resources and the quick start guide in the UTM 3.0 members area. Now, this training session is an extension to the quick start guide, which is more of a straightforward, here's what to do, step-by-step manual, whereas this training session is a full-blown, here's everything you need to know to succeed and here's what to do presentation. Now, there might or might not be some overlap with the quick start guide, but there's one thing that you can be assured of. After going through the guide and watching this training, you'll be well equipped to crush it with PPV traffic and any paid media for that matter. Okay, so what's special about this presentation? 3 reasons to drop everything now and pay full attention to this presentation. First of all, you've paid for it, so you better make the most out of your investment. Take your business and future seriously and you will reap the benefits. Now, second of all, you will not find something like this on the market at this price point. I have compressed over 6 years of marketing and business experience into one single training program and I will review everything you need to succeed, no holds barred. Now, I have nothing to sell on this webinar and I'm laying everything out for you. And thirdly, there's something for everyone on this webinar. No stones will be left unturned. I'll be covering everything from fundamentals to key concepts to advanced tips and tricks. So there's everything. There's something for everyone. Even if you are a newbie or a seasoned marketer, you will benefit from this training. Now I see that Chris has just joined us in this webinar. Welcome, Chris. Okay, so about me. I'm just a regular guy from Malaysia, and my name is Naidi, as you know from purchasing this course, and I will be your guide and mentor in this program. I'm just a regular guy from Malaysia who dropped out of college at the age of 19, and I started my very first online business. And I'm the creator of the UTM series, as you know. So I started out building SEO sniper sites, and that was how I made my first 6 figures online until my sites were slapped by Google and I lost basically everything and I had to figure out how to build a more sustainable and more scalable business. So since then, I've built and scaled 6 and 7 figure businesses in various niches such as skincare, weight loss, internet marketing, dating and marriage and more. Oh, great. I see that Mohammed has just joined us in this webinar. Welcome. Thank you for joining us despite it being a Sunday. It's 1 a.m. where I'm at right now. So I really appreciate you all attending this training session. And I have also won dozens of affiliate contests. So I have experience building my own stuff and also promoting affiliate offers. So I don't mention all of this to brag, but just to ensure you that I know my stuff and everything I'm about to teach you is based on real life experience and data derived from spending my own money, not just based on theory, which is unfortunately what most of the products that many gurus put out are based on nowadays. Okay, so about UTM 3.0. A huge factor in my success in my businesses is the ability to consistently drive massive amounts of targeted traffic in a short period of time to a website/offer. So for the past 6 years, I've been obsessed with traffic generation, investing over 50,000 in traffic courses, seminars, and the like. So I've tried all of them, free and paid, including forums, Facebook, Google, YouTube, Pinterest, Reddit, Bing. I mean, you name it, I've tried it. So that's how I got my reputation in the internet marketing industry as the traffic monster. That's why I came up with the Traffic Monster UTM series of products. And that's how the series came up. So let's make this your life's motto, okay? Please understand this. Paid traffic is superior to free traffic, hands down, okay? And here's why. There are 5 key elements to a profitable and sustainable business. First of all, does it fulfill a massive need or want in the marketplace? Second, entry. How high or low is the barrier to entry? Can anyone just get in and start competing with you? And thirdly, it's a matter of scale. Are you able to scale rapidly when you want to? And fourth, is the success of your business predicated on you spending time in it? And last but not least, control. Are you able to control all aspects of your business? Now let's take a look at free traffic. Free traffic, unfortunately, has a low barrier to entry because it's free after all. And anyone can just join a forum or Facebook group and start posting and start getting traffic and competing with you at the same time. And secondly, it is very limited on scale because there are a limited number of forums and groups out there. And thirdly, it's completely predicated on your time, which is also limited. Okay, so you only have 24 hours in a day and you basically cannot scale beyond that. Okay, and last but not least, you are unable to control the amount of traffic that's coming in, nor the traffic that you are trying to reach. So you can't target a specific audience that you're trying to reach. And let's compare that to paid traffic. Paid traffic has a higher barrier to entry, and here's why. Most beginners are afraid of spending money, so because they don't understand paid traffic, so that's a deterrent for many people. Okay, and secondly, unlimited scale, because there are millions of visitors available on demand, and you will never hit that ceiling. And fourth, it's completely detached from your time. So just click a couple of buttons and you're able to up the traffic at will. And last but not least, the most importantly, you are completely in control of the bids, targeting, budgets, and more. So this is why paid traffic is essential to your business. And one point to make note of, free traffic is not really free because you're spending valuable time, which is as valuable, if not more valuable than your money. So get free traffic out of your mind right now. Okay, we're gonna go big or go home. Just think about it. Okay, if you spend 10 hours a day driving the same amount of traffic as you would investing maybe 25 bucks in paid traffic, you're basically valuing your time at $2 per hour, which is lower than any jobs available on the market, which is quite ridiculous. So you're actually losing money with so-called free traffic. So get it out of your mind. If you're looking to grow your business to 4 and 5 figure days, paid traffic will be your bread and butter. Okay, next we're going to get into the mindset shift, which is very important. So most paid traffic beginners are afraid to spend money. But if you think about it, okay, and most gurus tend to avoid asking this question to their audience: how much money have you spent in learning about internet marketing, including ebooks, videos, courses, seminars, and training programs? Okay, it's a very weird thing with online businesses. Just because it's online doesn't mean that you can build and grow a 6 and 7 figure business without spending money. Try doing that in any offline business and people would say that you're crazy. Okay, so I can bet that it's at least 10 times the amount that people budget for paid traffic, which is actual money invested in your business, driving traffic to your business. That's an actual investment rather than a purchase being spent on courses and stuff. Even losing money is buying data to optimize your campaigns into profitability, which is an investment for your business. So you can learn way more spending $100 in paid traffic versus buying $100 worth of courses, software, or training programs. So this is a mindset shift that needs to happen when you start doing paid traffic, which leads me to my next point. Get emotions out of it. Okay, never drive paid traffic when you're angry, happy, sad, or scared. It's the same thing with trading stocks. Okay, people say this about trading stocks: never trade when you are angry, happy, sad, or scared, because numbers don't care about our feelings, neither does money. Okay, paid traffic is all about numbers, so don't let your emotions get involved. When you have a structured and strategic approach to paid traffic, you will not be surprised, nor will you act irrationally. There must be a reason for you doing everything you do, and once you get the fundamentals, you can succeed in basically all paid traffic platforms, not just PPV. Okay, so let's get right into it. These are some key terms that you need to know and understand when it comes to paid traffic. First of all is a landing page. A landing page is also known as a bridge page, the sandwich page, or the squeeze page. This is the page that you place in between the visitor and your main offer. So it's the page that you drive traffic to in order to have them take a specific action before visiting your main offer. Okay. Secondly is the conversion rate, which is the percentage of people who take a specified action in relation to the number of total visitors. So for example, if you're trying to get people to opt into your email list, and out of 1,000 people, 500 opt in, that would be a 50% conversion rate. The third would be your cost per acquisition, which means the dollar amount spent to achieve a single specific action, for example, a lead. So if you spend $1 to generate a subscriber, that means your CPA is $1. So obviously, the lower your CPA, the better. So do you guys have any questions so far regarding these key terms? Have you guys heard of a landing page or conversion rate or CPA? Okay, there are. That's good. Okay. Okay, let's carry on. Next is a funnel. The funnel is the sales process a prospect goes through when they first come into contact with you. For example, they hit your landing page or your squeeze page, and then they go through your autoresponder sequence, and they go through your main offer, and then go through your upsell and your webinar and your high ticket offer. That's called a sales funnel. Okay. If you haven't realized by now, you too have gone through a sales funnel. You maybe bought this product from an affiliate of mine or on the Warrior Forum or somewhere else, and you went through the upsell process, and you went through and right now you're on the webinar. So that's something to take note of. And next would be earnings per click, EPC, aka value per visitor. Now this is one of the most important metrics when it comes to paid traffic. This means the dollar value a single visitor is worth to you. So if 1,000 people buy a $10 offer and your conversion rate is at 10%, which means that you would generate $1,000 from 1,000 people. So your earnings per visitor would be $1,000 divided by 1,000 people would be, which would add up to $1. Okay, so your EPC would be $1. All right, so next would be your bid. This would be your offer price in the traffic auction, meaning the maximum amount you're willing to spend per visitor or click. If you've done any sort of paid traffic, you might have experiences with bids. Maybe you've tried Google AdWords, and that would be your maximum CPC, which means that you put 10 cents, and they will not spend more than that. Your actual price will almost always be lower than your bid price, never over. And last but not least would be A/B testing, also known as split testing, which is a method of comparing two versions of a web page or app against each other to determine which one performs better. So if you've got a landing page that's doing quite well, maybe performing at 45% conversion rate, and you would like to improve that, you might clone the page and replace the headline with another and compare both of them. So you've got a variation and a control, and you basically pit them against each other and see which one performs the best. All right. So the next concept we have to understand when it comes to paid traffic, one moment, is statistical significance. Okay, this is not the most sexy part of paid traffic, but it's nonetheless the most important. Okay, because most people panic after spending a few bucks, and when they start going to the red, which means they start losing money, and they start cutting their campaigns and keywords, which is a huge mistake. And why most people lose money is because they don't hit statistical significance in order to make an informed decision. Okay, SS is defined as the probability of finding a given deviation from the null hypothesis. Okay, so basically, okay, in layman's term, what this means in the context of paid traffic is the likelihood that the difference in conversion rates is not due to random chance. Okay, which means that let's say you drive 10 visitors to your landing page. If one of them buy, that would be a 10% conversion rate, but you cannot extrapolate that into 100 visitors because 10 visitors is too small of a sample size. Okay, you run into a sampling error. So let your numbers hit statistical significance. In the case of PPV traffic, I'd say 100 visitors before making decisions on whether to scale your campaign or to cut your campaign. I hope that makes sense. Now, this is the golden rule. Let your campaigns run for at least 24 hours before touching it so that it will hit SS. Okay, most people panic, especially if they're new. They would cut their campaigns, they would pause their campaigns, or even scale their campaigns without waiting for the campaign to run at least 24 hours. And it is very important. Now, the next crucial concept that you have to understand when it comes to paid traffic. How to win at paid traffic. Okay. The winner of paid traffic is the one who can afford to spend the most amount of money on a single visitor. Now, you might be panicking at this point saying, oh, 90, I only have, let's say, $100 to spend on paid traffic. I can't possibly beat the large corporations and the big guys who have deep pockets. But read the statement again. I didn't say who has the biggest budget or deep pockets, but the one who can afford to spend the most. And now this boils down to basically two factors. First of all, your conversion rate. This is very, very important when it comes to PPV traffic or any paid media for that matter. Your CRR can determine the fate of your entire business. Now, these are some factors that will affect your conversion rate, your landing page, your relevance between your keywords and your offer, your price point, the traffic source, and the awareness of the prospects. Okay, so please keep this in mind. And the second, I will elaborate on all these points very soon, but please keep these key concepts in your mind. Next will be your earnings per visitor and your customer lifetime value. So there's so much you can optimize when it comes to your campaigns and your conversions, but your limit to your earnings per visitor and your customer lifetime value is limitless. Okay, so there are multiple factors that affect EPC and CTLV, which I will expand on later, which are conversion rate, price point, your depth of your funnel, your rate of repeat orders, subscriptions, your traffic quality, and so on. And what this means, okay, what this means is, let's put it into writing. Let's make a concrete example. Let's say James and Leslie, and they drive 10,000 visitors and spend $500. Okay, these are the constant variables. Okay, now assuming James has a $7 product and a conversion rate of 50% from prospect to lead, which means the prospects land on the landing page and they become a lead, subscribe into his email list. He will get 5,000 subscribers, 5% buy the $7 product, which means 1,750 in revenue, which adds up to a EPC, which is the dollar amount divided by the number of visitors of about 17 cents, and an ROI of 225. That would be a great ROI for everyone, especially those starting out. But if you compare and take a look at Leslie, who has a very much deeper funnel, and she has a multi-product funnel of $7, $47, $97, and $9.97, and a higher conversion rate of 60%, she will get 6,000 subscribers, 5% by the $7 product, 25% by the 47, 25% by the 97, and 0.5% by 997. And this would add up to $8,840 in revenue. So that's almost, let's see, that's almost 6 times more in revenue just by choosing a different funnel. Okay. And that would mean she has achieved an insane ROI of 1588%. Okay, just by choosing a different funnel. So you can see, if based on the numbers, you could realize, you're wise enough to realize that EPC is a huge factor in your success in paid traffic. Okay, let's see if you guys have any questions up to this point. I realize that some of the subjects I might be covering might be quite technical, but it is quite important, although these are not so sexy topics, to get these things in order, if you really want to make money with paid traffic. Okay, so no questions so far. Okay, in this slide, I'll show you how to 10x your EPC. So make sure you promote an affiliate offer or your own offer which has a funnel in place. Okay, so a funnel usually starts off with a landing page or squeeze page for lead generation. For example, an email opt-in form. Next, it will be your main offer. Once they opt in, they will be redirected to your main offer, which is typically called a tripwire, which is a low price offer to convert a lead into a buyer. So it's like a $7 product or $17 product, low price offer to convert a lead into a buyer. Now this is called a micro commitment. Okay, when people convert from a lead to a buyer, they are much more valuable to you as they have proven to shown interest in your products and will likely buy more stuff from you. And next would be an upsell, which is a higher price, highly relevant offer. And lastly, it will be a high ticket offer, which some people call the profit maximizer. In the copywriting circles, we call this the slack adjuster. Okay, so next, you might be wondering, one moment, please. Okay, let's take a look at solid sales funnel and how it looks like. So people start off visiting your website at the top of the sales funnel. After that, once you've shown your value, with an effective landing page, you will turn them into a lead, and then you make a sale, and then you build their loyalty towards your brand, and they repurchase from you. So this is a complete and solid sales funnel, which is something that everyone should strive for. Now, by now you might be wondering, Naidi, where the heck is the PPV training that I paid for? Get on with it already, okay? But, well, if you've been paying attention, you realize without the proper systems in place that generate a high conversion rate at EPC, you lose your shirt like 99% of the marketers out there that go into paid traffic blindly without the systems and knowledge. The basics are not sexy. As you know, as you might have experienced just now, it might be a bit boring or might be a bit complicated, but they make or break everything. Okay, so other gurus out there might not succeed whether their students might not care whether their students succeed, but I really do. So that's why I go into so much detail with the fundamentals. Okay, so now that we've gotten the fundamentals, we are ready to get into the traffic. Now in this guide, I'll be mostly focusing on the big picture stuff because all the nitty-gritty technicalities can be found in a quick start guide in text and image form so that you can follow the steps slowly. So let's rock and roll. Introduction to PPV traffic. Now PPV is basically, it's very straightforward to understand. You pay a tiny amount for every view of your ad. So when people download these free software called Adware, they get ads presented to them. So this is completely legal and ethical. This is adware, not spyware. So people are fully aware when they download these softwares, such as games, PC cleaners, and things like that. They will get specific ads. It's part of the package. Okay, so this is one of the most targeted forms of cheap advertising that you can find on the internet. Let's get into the PPV platforms that I recommend. So for all intents and purposes, I only recommend 2 PPV platforms. The first is Propel Media. and it's previously known as Traffic Vans. I've used Traffic Vans for a long time until they decided to rebrand, and I still use them quite a lot. It does require a referral from a current advertiser, and it does ask for $1,000 minimum deposit. So it's the most premium traffic when it comes to PPV. I had an account because I had a skincare company and I registered as an advertiser, but right now, if people want to get in, it's not so easy. So if you can't afford this yet, just skip it for now and go for RTX platform. Okay, it's formerly known as 50 on Red, which is very, very popular amongst PPV marketers. It's quite newbie friendly. The UI, the user interface is quite intuitive, so newbie friendly and great traffic overall. It's only $100 deposit, fast approvals, and it's the second best option. So if you can't afford Propel Media at the moment, or you're not ready to commit yet, I'd recommend you go for RTX platform. So next, let's move on to targets. Now, in PPC, keywords, yeah, I call keywords, but in PPV, they're called targets. They can be in the form of keywords or domains or websites. So, for example, weight loss is called a target. Weightloss.com is also a target. Warriorforum.com is a target. Warriorforum.com/warrior special offers is also a target. So these are all targets. Now, this is the power of PPV campaign, because we can not only target keywords and websites, but also specific pages on websites. So for example, if you're promoting an internet marketing product, you don't just target the warriorforum.com, but you can target the Warrior Special Offers section, which is the section with the most buyers and the most interested marketers in these kinds of products. So you can see the power of PPV traffic. So here's our targeting strategy, okay? It's quite similar to PPC. It's a similar concept. We'll go narrow first and then broad. Okay, we'll start with long tail domains. We'll scale with root domains, and then finally keywords. Okay, I'll expand on this. So that your ROI, your return on investment, will be the highest at the first stage, which is the long tail domain stage. And then it goes down in later stages, but this is to be expected because you can't have the best of both worlds. The most important thing is just stay profitable as we scale up. So explaining long and short tail targets, as you can see from the graph, the more generic the target or the keyword, the more volume you have, and the more specific the target or keyword, the less volume you have. But for the generic ones with higher volume, you have higher competition, whereas the more specific ones with lower volume, you have low competition. So the first step is to build a seed target list. This is the basic method. So the first step would be to go to google.com and grab the root domains of the top 10 results. So the root domain is the main domain without the stuff after the slash. So bodybuilding.com, not bodybuilding.com/topic/weight loss. Okay, the next step would be go to www.similarweb.com or similarsitesearch.com. And these sites will help you expand upon the main URLs to get new ones. So basically what they do is they'll scout for sites that are similar to your main domains that you have already found via Google. Okay, so build a huge list of that, but make sure they're highly relevant as well. So after that, continue expanding your list by expanding on the related domains. Okay, so what that means is, for example, you enter bodybuilding.com into similarweb.com and it comes out, it spits out the result muscleandfitness.com. You'll put muscleandfitness.com into the SimilarWeb and you repeat the process over and over again until you have a huge list. Now it sounds like a lot of work, but it's well worth it because most people don't put effort into doing these things, and if you do, you have a huge advantage over them. Okay. So the next step would be to narrow your targets. Now there are three categories of targets when it comes to PVV. The first would be ultra specific. semi-specific, and I have mislabeled the last one is broad targets. Now, ultra-specific targets are the most profitable with the lowest volume, as I mentioned. These are the long tail ones. For example, this one, bodybuilding.com/store/RSP nutrition slash quadralean. So this is a very specific link, which is actually a product page for this specific product. So imagine if you can target the people on this product page with another relevant offer, that would be huge. Your conversion rates would be sky high on these types of targets. Now, once you start off with this, you would like to expand into semi-specific targets which are also profitable and have higher volume. These are the medium tail keywords like bodybuilding.com/store/fat loss. It's essentially a level above the ultra specific targets. Now, with broad targets, apologies for the mislabeling. These are our scaling targets, which are the main/root domains which has high amounts of volume. So only target these when you've got solid amount of data and know your metrics. So you want to start out with ultra specific targets and then expand to semi-specific and then finally to broad targets. So the reason being, if you target bodybuilding.com from the get-go, I can bet that you blow through your budget in an hour, depending on your bids. And the conversions won't be so high because it's a relatively broad website. Unless when it comes to low traffic websites like how to build muscle in 10 days, those sales pages type websites where there's not a lot of traffic, you can go ahead and target the main website. Okay, next will be conversion tracking. Now, I won't go into the nitty-gritty of the technical aspects of this because it's all included in the quick start guide. But it's crucial that you set this up before you even drive a single visitor to your website, because keep in mind the 90-10 rule. 90% of your targets will lose money and 10% will bring in all the profits. Once we trim the 90% of the unprofitable ones, we'll be left only with those that make money. So you've got a bunch of profitable campaigns, but for that you need conversion tracking. You need to know which keywords or targets that are performing and those that are not. So it's a very simple process. Just copy some code to your website. The full details are in the quick start guide. Okay. So my secret sauce to PPV traffic, why I'm able to generate such good results with PPV, boils down to this: bidding. So unlike PPC, there's no quality score or snowball effect with PPV. Traffic volume in terms of impressions with PPV is purely dependent on your bids. So your bids determine your win rate in the traffic auction. Okay, let's explore what this means. So let's see how Google ranks their ads on Google AdWords. You have your ad rank, your CPC bid, and your quality score. Basically, you have to prove yourself to Google that you're able to provide a quality experience for their viewers in the form of ad rank, CPC bid, and your quality score. Your quality score is basically your relevance when it comes to the ad and your website. Basically, it's a bunch of very complicated stuff when it comes to Google. And there's no such thing when it comes to PPV. No quality score, no ad rank, no snowball effect, none of that. Okay, it's all about your bids as it relates to your competition. So if you're, for example, bidding on an obscure website or keyword, for example, weight loss for moms over 50 with kids.com, you can bet that there's no competition for it. So that's why it's important not to only target those broad URLs, but also target specific URLs so that you can get really cheap traffic for a very low cost. So basically, we can conclude, unlike with PPC, all visitors are equal when it comes to PPV traffic. Hence, it makes sense to first reach the cheapest ones first, the cheapest visitors first. Now, these targets I call the low-hanging fruit targets. Okay, because they're ripe for the picking. So here's how to create a low-hanging fruit campaign. Now, the first step is to bid the absolute minimum that your PPV platform allows. So, for example, for proper media, it's half a penny. So you want to bid half a penny. You don't want to go higher than that, okay? Because these targets are almost guaranteed to be profitable if you've done your homework and have chosen appropriate targets in your niche, because they are so cheap, okay? So once you've done that, once you've bid the lowest, okay, absolute minimum, check the position that you're in after 24 hours. Check your ranking for that particular keyword. So if you're number one, it means that you've dominated the target and there's no one that's bidding higher than you. So there's no need to increase the bids further. Doing that would not give you extra traffic. Okay, so what would you do? You would grab all of those that you're ranking number one for, okay, and move them to a separate campaign called the low hanging fruit campaign. What I do is basically I label my campaigns. For example, I'm doing a weight loss offer for let's say the Venus Factor, and I'll put Venus Factor dash low hanging fruit. Okay, that's how I would structure my campaigns. So this will give you cheap and profitable clicks for a long time. So just feed it with money and monitor closely, because you get a bunch of cheap clicks and you're ranking number one for them. Next would be your profitable campaign. So once you've identified some low-hanging fruit targets and moved them to a separate campaign, you need to pause them in your main campaign, which consists of all the targets that you've accumulated from your research. Okay, let's take it very slowly. Now you're left with targets for which you're not ranking number one for, because those that you're ranking number one for, you've already moved them to your low-hanging fruit campaign. Okay, so the next step is to let them run for another 24 hours until they reach SS. Okay, so if you find targets hitting the number one position, move them to the low hanging fruit campaign. Remember to pause them. Okay, so next, for those targets that have generated conversions, conversion is something that you define in your PPV platform. For example, a lead, a purchase, or whatever. Move them to a separate profitable campaign. So you have two campaigns now, LHF and a profitable one. So you would label them this way. For example, six-pack shortcuts, LHF, six-pack shortcuts, profitable. Make sure to always pause them in your main campaigns once you've moved them. If not, you have duplicate targets in both campaigns and you will be competing with yourself basically. Now the next step is to optimize and pause targets. So please remember to make decisions on data, not emotions, as mentioned before, because the ability to weed out the losers and keep while growing the winners is crucial to create profitable campaigns. You don't want to pause a target too quickly before it hits SS, meaning you need to acquire enough data to make an informed decision. So this is the rule of thumb I use to determine when to pause a target. Okay, so pause targets that don't produce a payout after spending 3 times the payout amount. Okay, what this means is, for example, you're promoting a product that costs $1 and your keyword has spent $1 trying to produce a conversion but has failed. So you pause it. Okay, not those. How about those that spend $2? You wait for it to spend at least 3 before pausing it. Okay, so that's the rule of thumb I use, and the rule of thumb that many marketers use when running their paid traffic campaigns. So once you've weeded out the losers and only kept the winners, you're left with profitable keywords and targets. So continue to up your bids to acquire more data and continue growing your converting campaign and your LHF campaign while pausing losing targets. Okay. So if for some reason you find that converting targets, it happens, suddenly turns bad, just pause them and don't get emotionally attached to a target. I've had this happen several times. Maybe the website shuts down, maybe for some wild reason they stop performing. Just pause them. Now the next step or a simple trick is to turn dead keywords into dollars. Okay, so this one trick turns dead targets into profitable targets. Let's say you have a target with a 50-cent bid and your payout is $1. So after spending $5, which is 10 clicks because your bid is 50 cents, you get a $2 return. So that's a 10% conversion and a $3 loss. Now, assuming the conversion rate is the constant variable, what can we do to turn the tables on this and make the math work? Okay, now, so this is when I need you guys to do a bit of thinking. Please comment in the chat box. What would you do in this situation to turn this target into a profitable one? Okay, let's see who has been paying attention to the training. Let's see. Okay, well done. Some have gotten it right. So here's the answer. What you do is you take the keyword. Oops, something wrong here. What you do is you take the keyword and you lower the bids. Okay, so doing the math, if you lower your bid to 10 cents, you get 10 clicks instead for $1 instead of 50. Okay, oh sorry, instead of $5. So the conversion rate is $10, which is the constant. So you generate the same $2 while spending only $1. Got it? So giving you a $1 profit. It's very simple yet very powerful. Now the downside with this is you do not maximize the traffic potential of these targets. So traffic will come in slower, but they were unprofitable targets to begin with. So you had nothing to lose. Instead of pausing them, just lower the bids so that the math makes sense. Okay, remember, it's all about the metrics, your numbers. Do the math. So once you've done this with a couple of targets, move the lower bid targets into a separate lower bid campaign. Okay, pause them in the main campaign and move them into a separate campaign called lower bid campaign. So now at this point, you should have 3 campaigns. So you have a main campaign, which is the total accumulated list of targets to identify winning, losing, and lower bid targets to continue expanding and contracting this list. Now the second campaign would be your converting campaign, which consists of all your profitable campaign, which I like to call the money campaign, and it should be constantly expanding. You should be constantly adding targets from your main campaign to this campaign. Okay, so pausing these converting campaign or profitable targets from your main campaign and moving them to this campaign. And lastly would be a lower bids campaign consisting of targets which bids have been lowered to be made profitable, or as I like to call them, the cash cow campaign, because they just bring in cash on a passive basis without you having to do anything. So, and this campaign should also be constantly expanding. All right, so once you've got these 3 campaigns, it is time to scale. So like I said, the great thing with paid traffic is super easy to scale up without extra effort or time on your part. That's what makes it superior to free traffic. Okay, with free traffic, you have to constantly increase your time spent and effort to increase the traffic and earnings. But with paid traffic, it is as easy as clicking a couple of buttons. So there are 2 ways to scale: vertically and horizontally. Let's look at scaling vertically. So let's see. So the first way to scale targets is to scale vertically, which is scaling up, which means increasing your bids. So I would suggest that you increase your bids only 50% at a time, as long as it makes sense. which means that if you reach the point of diminishing returns, which means that the numbers make it unprofitable, basically you're trying to increase the volume a lot, but your bid is so high that the numbers don't make sense. Okay, they don't justify your payout. So by then you have to reduce it to the point where it strikes the balance between volume and ROI. Okay, that's when you know you've hit the right bid and you should stop and focus on other targets and let that one run. So secondly would be to increase the number of targets, continue using SimilarWeb and similar site search and sites like these, or try to find magazines, influencers, celebrities in your niche and target their websites. Basically, think of where your prospects will hang out. Which are the sites that they visit? For example, if I'm trying to target internet marketers, I would target the Warrior Forum, I would target wickedfire.com, I would target affiliorama.com, and I would think who are the authorities in this space. For example, Ryan Dice. So ryandice.com, digitalmarketer.com, and I would put that into Facebook and see what kinds of results they would give me, their related pages, their recommended groups, and all of them are potential for targets. You could also go to clickbank.com or jvzoo.com or warriorplus.com and check out which launches are receiving a lot of traffic these days. So basically you can hijack their traffic by entering the sales pages as targets to your campaign, right? Does that make sense? Basically you're ethically and legally hijacking their traffic and their audience to promote your own offer. And the conversion, the volume will not be huge on these type of targets, but the conversion rates will be through the roof. Now lastly, we'll be broadening the URLs, which means from long tail to medium tail. So for example, if you're targeting bodybuilding.com /store/product, you would move up one level to bodybuilding.com /store, and that would improve the traffic. Now keep in mind, it will also decrease the ROI as expected, but as long as you're profitable and you're willing to find that middle ground between traffic volume and ROI, you should be fine. All right, let's explore the second method of scaling, which is scaling horizontally. Let's see. Horizontal scaling, also known as scaling out. So the first step is to scale to other PPV networks. So this is literally the easiest way to scale your campaign. So once you've maxed out scaling up using the three methods, which is increasing bids, increasing the number of targets, and broadening the URLs, you've really maxed it out. Next step is to just move it to another network. This because they reach different people that you haven't had the chance to reach yet. For example, let's say PC Cleaner, let's say a Traffic Vans or Proper Media only has traffic for people who download this PC Cleaner or this mini game, but you haven't reached out to those who have downloaded antivirus programs that are not covered under Proper Media. That's the reason to scale to other PPV networks. They might have traffic for people who have downloaded toolbars, games, software, and other stuff like that. Okay, so that's just copy and paste your campaigns. They're basically proven to convert. So start off with your converting traffic. So next would be going direct. So let's say you might find that a particular target is converting extremely well, and you know that website receives a lot of traffic, but you're not getting a lot of traffic for some reason from PPV. So for example, if I'm trying to target Warrior Forum and I get a small amount of traffic, but I know that that site receives massive amounts of traffic. So what I'll do, because what this means is those visitors on the websites have not downloaded the toolbars that make it possible for me to target them via PPV traffic. Okay, they might not be the demographic that downloads these kinds of things. So what I would do is I would go direct to Warrior Forum, and I would look for a chance to advertise on it. So coincidentally, they have a Warrior WSO section. Or on some sites, it might be called advertising or sponsored ads. You might look out for them and approach them and work out a deal, or they have some procedure to start advertising with them, because they're basically proven to convert for your PPV traffic, and this would be a great way to scale. Now, the third way is to scale to other pop-up traffic sources like Zeropark, Pop Ads, Popular Ads, and so on. This is because we have proven that these visitors on these websites respond well to interruption marketing, which is what pop-up traffic is, interruption marketing. And so you're basically leveraging your data from your PPV traffic, but scaling your offer and creatives that have been proven to work with interruption marketing. Okay, so but with these networks, you want to be a bit careful, because normally the traffic quality is not as high as it is with, let's say, Propel Media and also RTX platform. So you want to really watch your campaigns and start slow. All right, so congratulations, you've made it. We have reached the end of our live training session. So by this point, you should understand the fundamentals of paid traffic, the traffic systems you need